The August 24th, 2021 Litchfield Recreation Commission meeting. We'll do a quick roll call to see who is in attendance. We have Mr. Andy Ruggles.
Here.
Mr. Mike Bosky.
Here.
Mr. Jeff Town.
Here.
Alternate. Tonight, Jeff, we're going to make you a full member. Miss Judy Brennan.
Here.
Same to you, Judy. Tonight we'll be making you a full member. My name is Steve Gannon. I am the chair. I am here. And we have Mr. Steve Weber, the selectman rep.
Here.
That gives us a board of 6, so we can move forward with making motions and votes. Absent tonight is Chris Burns, Peter Ames, and Mr. Andy Collins. Got a couple things on the agenda. The first one we're going to take care of is, I'm going to go out of order because I don't have my notes with me. We're going to go out of order. We're going to take care of Mr. Bork with his request for soccer. You want to step up or do you want to sit where you are? I'll go over the request. So this is for Litchfield Youth Soccer, and they are looking to use Innisfield as well as Sawmill Brook from 8/17 to 11/15, 2021. All days, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nonprofit, Miss Jennifer Bork submitted. All the rest of the stuff is pretty much in line. I did receive all the updated insurance, this year's background check, as well as a field soccer request, so we look like we're in good shape. Only concern I have is you're looking to tie up both fields pretty much all fall.
Mm-hmm. All day, every day.
4 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Is this common?
This is every year.
Every day.
Every year, every day. I mean, honestly, it's. Let's put it this way: This is soccer in the fall. As you know, one of the fields is shut down. Just trying to rehab it. It's there, but we're trying to stay off it because there's less activity on it.
Yeah.
Sawmill. In the spring, Sawmill. In the spring, yeah, it's soccer's there same time frame. Lacrosse is there same time frame, but using one of the other fields. So it's split up. Those are the main sports that use those fields during the fall and the spring. In the summer, it's a lot more, flag football gets out there and, soccer's out there occasionally and lacrosse is out there. Lacrosse and soccer are more occasional in the summer. Flag is out there all the time. And whomever else ends up requesting it is there.
So I guess my question is, because all we're trying to do here.
We should make a motion so we can go into discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to accept soccer's request for the field, Sawmill and Innis during the dates specified.
We have a second, please.
I'll second.
All right. Thank you. All right. So now let's go back to discussion. Go ahead, Andy.
And now I lost my thought, Steve. I guess my own. So we're trying to establish a calendar, the fields, which we know soccer going to be using it a lot. Ball in the fields. It's the same thing. Get a request from like various organizations saying, hey, can we use this field? And my only concern is if we say no, and then turns out for some reason soccer isn't there, say all the games are away that day or something like that.
That's why I was just going to, it's very simple. I mean, you can just reach out to me because I'll have the calendar of like when practices are and when games are.
Okay.
And if you have a request, I can just simply look at the calendar and let you know, nope, we're not going to be there at that certain time. It's just, we're just looking for the flexibility because it's constant that you'll have a rain date and then they have to change schedules. So it's the way we've always operated. It's just to have the flexibility.
No, does soccer have a published schedule somewhere where you have all the?
We do.
Oh, you do?
It's right on LYSL page.
Just like ours. They do. No,
It's just like ours?
does. It's just like ours. You can go to theirs and see the whole entire
I
schedule.
wonder if we could
At one
input.
point in time, sports teams did have to submit their practice and game schedules. Wait, I'm talking like probably 15 years back to the commission, just so that just so that we had an idea if somebody needed a time
Yeah,
If
so
that's definitely a game time, or if it's
Right,
not,
if it's
then check
soccer,
with
it's not.
the,
I appreciate the flexibility that you're trying to put in. I'm not one to go with this is how we've always done it. As Andy said, we're trying to get a schedule together. We're trying to figure out who's on the field at what time, what are they doing. We had a request for kids running series, and they want to just do under, I don't know what grades, but they want to be able to use the field to just do runs and sprints and all that. So what I'm trying to do is if we can tighten up the schedule so we know. So if in this situation, I don't have to say, well, let me go reach out to soccer. Let me go reach out to baseball. I'd rather we should be the owner of the schedule, and then we know what you guys are doing.
I can
so that-
submit a practice schedule for you.
Yeah.
And the only thing, again, I'll just caution that, it's subject to change because of weather.
Right. I understand that.
Take like yesterday, the fields were closed.
Yep.
So all those teams are probably going to be looking for an additional day for
Right, it's gonna
practice.
shuffle.
But I mean, I'll be more than happy to submit. I can send it off to you.
The other
practice
thing is,
schedule.
working with our landscaper, trying to schedule him in there as well, so he knows who's going to be on the field. This you really tie up two fields for 4 months on every Monday and every Saturday.
Well, I believe
and
his
Sunday, which-
request was for people to be off the field Monday through Friday up to 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
Yeah,
That
generally
is
they're in the
that,
morning.
that
That's
is
starting at 4.
Yeah.
My only comment is, how does this impact the approval we already did for the men's soccer league? I know they're ending sometime in
well.
August.
Honestly, technically, the men's soccer league's already overrun what we approved them for
Oh, have they?
because we actually approved them through the end of July,
Okay.
and they're still playing games.
I didn't know if it's July or August. It's
So-
August 17th.
They're still. They're still playing. I reached out to Hyder a couple weeks ago because of field lining, and he was like, "Well, there are possibly games through the end of August due to playoffs." So I'm like,
But that
I
wasn't
mean,
you need to come back in front of the
You
board.
should come back
Yeah.
and ask. Yeah.
that's one of those things where it's like, okay, but yeah, technically they ended. Their request ended. Now again, we could have had them come back. Of course, it's been hard enough trying to keep in contact with them anyway.
Right.
And even if we have, so if we have them come back, that's fine. But we're also in the middle of when are we meeting? When are we not meeting? We're only meeting a disjointed schedule, and we're jamming in special meetings already.
Yeah.
So, to have them on there a few extra weeks when the field wasn't being used.
Well, he could at least send out an email to give us an update. And trust me, Brian, I'm not only trying to pick on you. This is the stance I'm taking with everybody. Every year, I want the leagues to come before us. They need to provide us with their insurance. They need to provide us their updated camp requests, the background checks, as well as a true schedule, so we know what's going on and we know who's where and what's going on and what we could do and when we can't do it.
The other thing that would probably be difficult about that is that we'd probably be approaching you for permission without a schedule because the schedule gets generated.
Right after.
So we'd be looking for usage of the fields. Then we could submit a schedule to you, if that's okay to do it that way.
Yeah, that's fine. Just something that we have an
I'm
idea.
thinking we do it probably late, before spring starts, I suppose, come to you. So
Is the current schedule kept up to date online somewhere?
It
Has
is,
things
yep.
changed?
Yep.
So if we know where that website is, we know what
Yeah.
people are planning.
That's I was also I'd like to see if maybe we could suck their schedule into our schedule so we could look.
Yeah.
But then might get
Once
a
we
little
get our
busy.
schedule sorted out. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I think too, if ever there's damage or something happens and we know, we can contact who was on the field, was this broken when you were there? And they can say, no, it wasn't. And you can kind of, know who to contact and pinpoint when maybe something happened between this time and that time.
I'm the point person for anything on the field. So you can just reach out to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
Yeah,
other-
it would be good if we could coordinate, suck the schedules in, because baseball has the same
Baseball,
website.
softball, everything. It's all
Softball
iCal, I
does.
think, is what you
It's,
can pull it out in and just import it back in.
Yes.
So I think all of them are iCal. So whatever we create, if we can pull that in,
Even if we can hyperlink to a
hyperlink, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
page,
Yeah, just something so that we, as a commission, we know what's going on the fields is what I'm really looking for. Because in these situations, we might be granting somebody access, and then men's soccer's out there. I might have already said to somebody, "Yeah, you can go out there," but men's soccer's still
So
playing.
do you need me to do something with the schedule? Or are you just going to extract that yourself and I'll submit the practice schedule to you?
Yeah, we'll submit the practice schedule so we have an idea, and then moving forward, we'll look at the LYSL soccer schedule and try to figure out what we could do
Yep.
to utilize it. I do, like I said, that I do realize this after speaking with Mike and you. This is the ongoing thing, but I'm not one to follow that
No,
way.
that's
I like
fine. If
to buck
that's
the
what you're looking
norm
for
and
is for
try
us to come forward, and we can do that.
All right. Any other discussions? Hearing none. Let's do a vote. Let's do it. Let's do a roll. We'll just do a handout.
Yep.
We don't have to do the roll call anymore.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. All in favor for soccer to use?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstained? 6-0-1.
Thanks for coming in.
It's actually
I actually had-
5-0-1, but
Actually, I have one other thing, if I could.
there's 6 of us in total.
Uh-huh.
The
Oh,
6
6
of
of
us
us
in
totally 5-0.
5-0-1. It's that funny math.
It's been a long week, dude. It's been a long week,
Yes.
and it's only Tuesday.
So I did have just one other thing that probably next week we'll be submitting a request for the usage for the Halloween Jamboree.
Okay.
As we've been doing for the last X amount of years.
Yeah.
I just was curious as to whether or not you foresee any problems as of today.
That's
As of
such a
today.
really question.
If it was today,
So
so everything's like moving and
right now, because yours is outside, right?
Yeah.
I would say no. Right now, the only restrictions we still have in place is number of people in Talent Hall.
Yeah.
But the town does not have a mask mandate or any enforcement in place, so we are kind of following along with the same.
okay. I realize that's very fluid.
Oh, it's yeah.
But,
Especially with school starting next week and
yeah.
everything else.
So like I said, they'll be submitting that plan probably next week.
Okay.
For the
Yeah.
request.
We're going back now to our regular schedule, which will be every other week. So we won't respond next week, but we will take it up at the next meeting.
Excellent. Nice. Thank you very much. For your
Thank you,
time.
Brian. Nice meeting you.
Thanks,
Have a
Brian.
good
Take
evening.
care.
Let me know as far as the 10th.
Certainly will. Yeah, I'll email you.
All right.
If we use Google Calendar, we can integrate iCal. I just looked up. So
Yep. The tough thing is I really like the calendars that softball, baseball, and soccer probably uses because it's just a very nice look, and it's something I'll have to work with you and you. He has an IT background too, so maybe he'll be running with our calendars. We need something that we could get an idea of what, a general idea without having to dig down too deep.
I just feel like there's so many times people have come into us and been like, hey, we want to use the field this day. And we're like,
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
like,
mean, usually with all organizations, baseball, softball, soccer, over the years, it's been everyone knows that here's the schedule, but ask if you give someone a week's notice or 2 weeks notice, things can change. I mean, like there's usually, what is it? I don't know if it's in the spring or fall. One of the library, I think, goes out and looks at the stars, or they sponsor someone to look at the stars. And that's like at Sawmill because it's wide open and everything. And we usually, kick everyone off, kick all the practices off early so that they can get on there and use it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, it's
communicating.
and that's not, honestly, again, it's not like every hour in that time is going to be used, but when you get down to it, those depending on rain, depending on, a certain availability at times, it's something that's changed.
Yeah.
It's tough to really fit it in to figure out that exact time frame. After the schedule is up, then you can look, but even then it's like, one rain date and
It shifted.
someone got to go back and reload
You
it.
know about that.
Yeah.
Moving a lot of things around.
All
Like I live in that schedule.
Let's go on to rope course, then we'll go to irrigation repair, and then we'll do budget and CK. So rope course, I know there's 2 people that are interested in this topic, but we'll go, let Mr. Jeff Town start off.
With the ropes course down at Roy. Yeah, so I just ran into Coach K down there and talked with him about, what was going on. Because we talked about it here last time and we didn't really know who was doing what.
No, and Andy didn't have his email either,
He didn't
So-
have his email
or
address.
contact info.
So I got his phone number and I got the contact information for his partner. And they were down there today working with the Londonderry Girls Softball League, which they've been doing for some time, team building program. And they get $50 per session. And this was like I don't know, 3 or 4 hour session with this team, $50 per session to pay for maintenance of the ropes course. And then they get paid for their time separately from that. Coach K also said that the annual inspection of the ropes courses was cut from the school budget, and that inspection runs out this fall. So nobody will be able to use those courses until they're inspected because the insurance relies on the inspections being.
And school usually the school district usually pays the
The
insurance.
school has traditionally paid for it. I think it was built when Coach K was
Right.
running the phys ed department. And he used it quite a lot then. I don't know that they're using it now. And if they cut the inspection from the budget, I'm assuming the school is not planning to use it.
From my knowledge, the school hasn't used it since Coach K left.
That was
So,
my
Yeah,
understanding.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you have to have some sort of certification to have, like, I think him and his partner are certified to have, like, show kids how to use it and whatever. The school, like, I don't, my kids have gone, I mean, the last 17 years, I don't remember them using the course in the time from middle school on. So that's, the last 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the backstory on it, like why it was built and who built it?
I thought it was part of the high school and
I
a
think
gym
Coach
or
K
a
was
class
behind
program.
getting it
Yeah.
built.
But so
he
they're
used it.
using it, but Litchfield is not using it.
Correct.
Do they, I mean, their property, I guess, is on rec property. Do
Mhm.
they have to submit a request to use it, or they can use it whenever they want? Or,
Haven't seen anything come in front
so
of
it's
this
being
board
used
since I've
now
been
for
here.
out of town?
They have come before in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
And he,
a couple of years ago, like not last year because of COVID and everything, but I think it was 2 years ago. Him and I can't remember his partner's name. They came here and they talked about it.
That's right.
So
Okay.
they were here at the meeting.
and he offered to come if we invited them to come.
Right. I didn't realize. Yeah. I mean,
Come.
I didn't realize he was using it this time. You know,
Do they file insurance every year?
I think the insurance is covered by the school.
But if the
But
school's not
If
using
they're
it, the
used
school's
doing
not doing
if the Londonderry school
Right.
is
I'm trying to figure out what the
using it
affiliation.
and they're not affiliated with the school anymore.
Right. What is the affiliation with the Recreation Commission as
Yeah,
well
I
as
guess that's
the
what I'm
high school?
asking.
And if the high school's not using it, is there still an affiliation? And it sounds like maybe they're not going to want to pay for it.
That's what it sounds like.
well, if they already cut it from the budget, they're not going to pay for
They're
it.
not going to pay for it. We don't have it in our budget, and I can tell you our budget's a lot less than the school budget.
You know, what I mean, realistically, I know we can keep going around about it, but it might just be better to invite Coach K and his
Find out what is,
his partner to the next meeting.
Get the next level of
Yeah.
detail and find out what's going on.
and figure out what is the
And without the
course.
school backing, what their plan is for the future? Like, how do they plan to just do groups like they took in Londonderry and self-fund it?
Well, see,
Or
I
is
see.
it-
They aren't. They're a company or they're whatever they are,
Right.
partnership business.
Okay.
Their business is
their business.
independent. So
Okay.
they're independent and they bring in someone to use the course, I think is how they do it. Because he's not affiliated. I don't think he's affiliated with Litchfield at all now. They're not affiliated with the town or anything.
So
But his buyback into for us was they were upkeeping the course.
Okay.
So
And they've added to the course because there's a new part now
is it?
on the other, opposite the playground. It's like lower level stuff.
the low level courses.
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
be
so
upgraded.
I mean that was so it was kind of it was no charge, but they were maintaining and everything, so they
Right.
were doing that portion of it, so that the school wasn't doing it. But I mean, again, I'm going off of memory here. It'd probably be better just to have them come
Yeah,
in
it would be
if they
good.
can do it
And
next.
especially if we
2
want to
weeks.
get some interested groups in using it also.
Yeah, if you can
Yeah.
reach out to Coach K, ask him if he can come in, get an idea of how much he feels it costs every year to maintain, as well as the insurance, and then we'll have to figure out where the funds can come from. It might have to be something that we have to charge people to utilize and make it.
Right. Maybe it's
Itself.
self-funded, you know,
Yeah.
charge.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because realistically, the thing is, if it's not insured,
Can't go on.
we probably have to take it
down.
apart.
Yeah.
Or at least take the lower
Right.
levels apart
Yep.
so no one can
Because
get to it easy.
becomes a liability. I think we should still know if it's wrecked property when
It is-
something's scheduled on there.
I agree with that. I would agree with that too. When they're going to utilize it, they should notify us.
Yeah.
I'm sure Coach K would probably have, once again, come in front of the board, let us know what you're doing, show us all your paperwork, up to date, show us your insurance, and show us your schedule. And then we could put it on the schedule so we know, I wouldn't want them out there this weekend when scouts are out there because, or if they are, I want to know who it is. I went back there one day and I saw a bunch of people climbing around. I'm like, what's going on here? And then someone said, oh, we're doing this. I'm like,
I've literally never seen anybody on it.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's the thing.
have either.
I've never seen anyone on
I've
it.
been
so-
down there
I
100
haven't in
times.
years, other than me on the low part.
yeah. So if you could,
It's not real often. And between the insurance and the inspection costs, for the amount of time it gets used, it could be pretty expensive per hour.
But I think if people
Yeah.
were more aware,
Over the cost.
there would
People
be
might want
groups
groups might
who,
want to use it.
Yep.
yeah,
you
and get
advertise
training and instruction and, yeah.
Like company
I think
outings
would
and
be-
stuff like that. I mean, people do that stuff. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Team building things for
Yeah.
companies. Sure.
Even me without a team.
yeah. So if you can invite Coach K in, ask him to provide us some details, an idea of
Crazy.
cost, what it needs, how much maintenance is, how much insurance typically runs, and what does he see for it in the future.
Okay. That's second Tuesday.
Yep.
Of September.
Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about irrigation repair at Sawmill.
Yep, that's 14th.
14th. That's
Before we go to irrigation,
Yep.
do you want to get the minutes from last meeting improved or
Oh.
not? Or
Do we have them? I haven't.
yeah, you
received-
sent them out right after.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, when
Oh.
when there was a question
From an
about the
email.
meeting, like it said at the end of the minutes.
I don't
There was a meeting.
remember seeing the meetings minutes.
You've been busy, Steve.
Steve's got nothing going on.
The 13th, you sent them out.
Scroll back to before the 3,000 chaos and kindness emails.
July 13th, August 13th.
August.
August 13th. Oh, there it is.
Where's my only going to? Oh,
Document.
I don't have them. All right, I'll abstain.
It was just a
This
link.
time around.
He sent a
I can-
link to the.
You want to take this and look through
Oh
it?
God, want me to read that little thing? Oh, here they are. August 11th.
Of course, it makes me
Once
get
you
up.
get up, that's all it
screen's
takes.
a little too small. He doesn't. He has to focus on.
All right. Is this the only one we have? August 10th. All right, let's do. Do we have enough people? Yes. Okay. Consideration of meeting minutes for August 10th, 2021. All right. Has everyone got a chance to read the meeting minutes?
I read them when they came out.
I read him a long time ago.
I still got some action items I have to follow up on. All right. We'll do a vote to accept the meeting minutes from, or can I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes for August 10th, 2021?
So moved.
Need a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on these meeting minutes? The only one I have to mention is the slide. I spoke with the vendor out in Vermont, and she is overnighting the parts, and we should have them here by tomorrow. I will had a couple people reach out to me and said that they will be willing to help dig up and repair it. So hopefully by Saturday, by Friday, we'll have the slide taken care of. All right, we'll do a roll call vote to accept the meeting minutes of August. Actually, just raise our hands. August 10th, 2021.
Those in favor?
Those in favor.
You want to sit over here tonight?
Please signify by raising your hands. Aye. You were not with us that night, were you?
Nope. Three of us weren't.
4-0.
It's doing his Matthew.
Yeah.
3-0, Steve.
303.
303.
Oh, you weren't here either.
No.
Oh, God. Is there enough to accept it?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry tonight. I'm off my game a little bit.
Plus, you have that little baby with you.
Oh, yeah. She's so cute.
2 days and a night. Probably no sleep.
Well, my wife didn't, that's for sure. That's all I had for meeting minutes. Did anybody see any of the previous ones? I know we were missing a couple. I'll dig them up and I'll reach out to our meeting guy to see if we can get those forwarded. Mr. Sullivan, that's all he sent, right? I think we had 2 back in June that we still need to review. All right. Now let's move on to irrigation repair. You good with that, Mike?
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Thank you.
So I got a call from Ryan. Basically, he had noticed some browning in some areas out at Sawmill. I don't know if you'd noticed. It's kind of down towards the parking lot. And so he started looking into it a little bit, and he popped open a couple of irrigation control covers and realized that somebody had ripped the wires apart for all the stations. It had killed zones 1 through 5 out at Sawmill. So he had to spend half a day just figuring it out, how those connect back up. Kind of separately, I was messaged about a sprinkler head that was stuck on, which was probably a month before that. And basically, I don't know if the two are, connected or not, but I just wanted everyone to be aware that there is a repair that had to be done out at Sawmill.
Did he say, what does he mean by a sprinkler? Just because it's a zone, so I would expect 5 heads to be running at all times.
So basically what happened is, what he thinks happened is that the zone was stuck on, because sometimes they just don't shut. They get a little stuff in them. And somebody probably reached in the box and tried to disconnect all the wires to shut down that zone. They realized that wasn't working. So they reached in, there's a valve in that zone, and they shut that valve off, and that killed all 5 zones. So I don't know if we should send an email saying that if something like this happens in the future to the groups that use it, and just say, look, if anything happens, please don't touch the irrigation control valves, or, alert one of us. This is our number. And we will get on it as soon as possible.
So no one contacted.
Nobody
anybody to
contacted
say.
us. Somebody contacted me. I actually contacted Ryan within 10 minutes, and he went down later on, and the valve was it was off. So he assumed that it had just unfroze and shut off. And a month later, he realized that it had been messed with. So I have since gotten instruction on how to shut off properly if something like that happens. So I could easily go down there and kill it within minutes I live right there. So
it's there's a situation where it was running and somebody didn't want it running, so they went and just pulled things and basically broke it and then pulled the thing out.
it's scheduled to run
Whatever.
at night after
Yeah.
nobody's there. So
Okay.
the fact that it was on, it was just a one-off.
What is the schedule? So I would think.
Yeah, it's like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
until morning, I think. It's
Okay.
after hours.
Stuck on when somebody went the next day to do something and they just did what they could to shut it off.
Yeah.
The wrong way.
It'd be nice to put a sign down there to say contact so-and-so, but Recreation Commission changes hands often, so it,
You could just send an email to rc@litchfieldnh.gov.
Yeah.
Then it goes to all of us.
that's true.
And that'll probably get seen fairly fast.
Yeah, I
by
mean,
somebody.
one of us will.
One of us would see
One
it.
of us will see the email.
Yeah.
That's
All right, so Ryan's going to take care of that and repair
It's
the
already
issues.
fixed.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
And just further on Sawmill, it's been slice seeded. The areas that were, he said he hit it pretty hard, so it should be
And
good.
were they marked off? You marked them off, right?
Yeah.
Trying to keep people from
I went
losing.
around, marked it. I taped off a big portion of it. I circled some areas in orange, just so he wouldn't have to go searching just to do it. And when I relined the fields, I moved them off anything that was really bad. So.
And I think it is keeping people off. I've been down there.
Oh
for
yeah, I
nights for
mean,
soccer, and people
I
have
mean,
been avoiding
realistically,
it, so.
it's especially that front area. Like I originally, when I had taped it, I wasn't taping like the actual fence, and then I'm like, I actually got to put the tape around the fence because people are just going to
People
walk
still
in
go.
and then all of a sudden walk into it. So I just taped it all off.
Well, that's a favorite part to use too. 'Cause it's
Oh,
so
I
close to the
mean,
parking lot.
honestly,
right from there, go to the
I
easiest
wish-
part of the field.
If you knew how many times I've asked over the years to go use the far, even that front field, use the far end down by the board, or, move when you're using nets, move nets off lines and whatever. Yeah, it's
That lower corner,
over and
everybody
over and
loves.
over. Yeah, exactly. So you try, you just keep trying.
That's all you can do.
All right, thank you. We're doing a quick update on chaos and kindness, and then we'll go into the budget. I was just down there right before this meeting with the stage guys. They'll be bringing in equipment first thing Thursday. He'll be gone. Actually, he's going to come in first thing Friday morning. The guy sets up the stage at before the sun comes up. He doesn't like to work in the sunshine. So he's going to set up the stage before sunrise on Friday. He'll be gone before the scouts get there. The sound equipment guy is going to show up to finish setting up the stage. He's aware the scout's going to be there, so he'll make sure he respects. I don't know what time he's going to be there, but he's going to basically roll up and pack things on. Everything seems to be falling into line. As of about an hour ago, we were about 500 tickets sold. We were trying to hit 1,000. They just started really pushing it on their end yesterday. Until then, it's just been word of mouth and social media. They're going to start pushing it big time yesterday. I do think we're going to sell out. If not, we're going to come very, very, very close. When the tickets are created, it's actually going to be a list. It's going to be a name. You're not going to actually have a physical ticket or a digital ticket. And they're going to have basically an email that you'll get, and it'll list the do's and don'ts of what you can and what you can't do. Some of the common ones are no drugs, no alcohols, no animals unless they're service dogs, no pets. We're going to list some items we're going to be collecting canned goods for 68 hours in food pantry. So we're going to be listing some items that they need. Things are moving along. It's looking good. Troy requested a couple more porta potties.
We'll have 1 handicap and 3 regular.
He's also reaching out to see if he can get some field lighting.
We already have the lightings from Continental and from Fire Department.
So good.
Mosquito spraying. or something like
Mosquito, the field looks like
Happening.
it was cut today or yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it looks like it was freshly cut. So field spraying should happen either Thursday or Friday. Boy Scouts are aware of it. Jeff's aware of it. And if you see him out there, just give it a little time to dry. No one else should be on that field except for LMS Soccer will be on there in the morning because they had a rain day yesterday. They'll be on there Thursday morning for a couple hours, I think, just to finish up what they had for their tryouts or their tryouts. Concession stand is on board. The Allens with their donut trailer are on board. Kaylin's ice cream truck, and I'm going to reach out to Bees Tacos if we start getting close to the 1,000 mark. If we stay at 500, I think we'll be able to handle it with what we have. Anything else? Any questions?
How are you doing? Do you need any help with anything? Like, is there
So far, it
anything-
seems to be going.
Okay.
The day of, I do have a list. I wanted to see if Peter was coming. I know who will be available, who would not be available. Luckily, I pulled in like Jay and Pete and Karen, my wife, and a lot of people are willing to step up. I think the big surge is just getting the people through the gates.
Mhm.
And what we're going to do is have a couple tables. The list will be by last name or the name that they charged the credit card with. So whatever that name is and how many tickets they purchased. And then if there's any issues or the names cannot be found, Chaos and Kindness, the ladies from Chaos and Kindness going to be there too. And we'll just shuffle those people over to them and they'll be able to look up their information. But I think coming in will be the surge. That'll be the hardest part. And then after that, I think it's going to be pretty much.
I don't think it'd be too bad though, because I think you'll have some people coming at 5 when gates open, some a little later who maybe don't want to catch the opening act.
Yeah.
But if once we have a list,
Yeah.
and see, can
I
divide
don't
it
expect to
into
have a
3
list until
letter
first thing
categories.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, no, but still, then
Yeah.
A through E or A through G over here or whatever, and
The other question is,
we just highlight them all.
how do we handle walk-ups if they don't have tickets? And that'll be something we just send them over to Chaos and Kindness ladies.
The 12 new trash barrels have been delivered to Talent Hall.
7, not 12. We only get 7.
He told me to buy 12.
He said he bought 12. I only get 7.
There's only 7 in Talent Hall right now.
Right? Is that what counted? 7?
As of
Yeah.
1 o'clock today.
I will ask him. So I know he's waiting for a couple more covers to come in the last time I
Okay.
talked to him. So
Maybe
he might
that's
be
what
waiting
he's
for
waiting
that.
for.
Then I think there's already 1, 2, 4 around the fields.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a couple more back in the room. I think there's 4 more in there. So I think with all those trash receptacles, we should have enough trash spots throughout the field that nobody drops trash.
We also have to get
There'll be some, but
I don't think we're going to be at the Disney point, every 10 steps is a trash barrel, but
we got to get liners. They also said they have a super team that they come, a bunch of volunteers, and they will stick around afterwards and help us break everything down and pick up the fields and leave it in as good a shape as they can.
cool.
And if, as I've said, he has the Boy Scouts in there Friday, Saturday, depending on what they're doing. And if they have time, he might have them help them run the barrels out, if they have extra time, if they have some downtime. I don't think they're going to because their schedule looks pretty tight.
Pretty busy, but they'll find a few minutes.
Yeah. And as a reminder to the public, Friday, tell me you're there, 6?
5.
Friday from 5 p.m. till Saturday morning. Please avoid using, it's going to be kind of hard, but please avoid using Roy Memorial Park in Darrah because the Boy Scouts are going to be doing the jamboree. And we'd like them to be able to walk about and not have to worry about anything.
And all the stage stuff is going to be set up too, right?
Yeah, but that'll be on the
Before-
far side. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but still
still.
people out on.
You don't want people climbing on that.
Yeah.
So there's 2 soccer nets down there. So I'll have the good one moved. There's one that's broken.
Yeah. We need to
We have someone coming to look at it the end of the week.
okay.
So I'll try to move that. If I move that down by where the batting cages are, is that better out of the way?
stages where the batting cages are.
Oh, okay. So not there.
So you might want to move it all the way down by the 8U field down the corner.
Okay.
So you get the pavilion, the opposite side of the pavilion.
Okay.
You need help moving it?
No, it'll be fine. I mean, moving it's not a problem. It's just that the person we've used to fix it before has hurt himself, so he couldn't get down till the end of the week.
And what do they do? Is it welded? Is
I
it
have to weld it. Yeah.
welded?
I mean, middle school still uses the field, which is why we still leave nets there. So
Right. But you don't need a hand moving it?
no.
Didn't look like it was going to be in the way when we were there
No.
earlier today.
But if we want
If it's not, then it can stay where it is. But I wasn't sure where the stage was being set up.
I think it was actually there on Family Fun Night in the same spot. And
Dude,
Every time you move it, you put stress on it to break it again.
Oh, I know. I mean, we're gonna have to legitimately. We're gonna have to lock them up probably this fall because every time we don't lock a net up, it ends up being broken either there, even at Sawmill. Sawmill, it's you try to put nets away, and you leave one out because 1 or 2 out because people occasionally go down there, and then you just find them everywhere. That's why all the nets at Sawmill are now locked because at one point we weren't locking them all, and we'd go down there and legitimately there'd be like 8 nets all over the place. So then we'd move everything back, and then they'd be back out. So it's when we started locking the soccer nets up.
Any other discussion on that? Everybody comfortable with that? All right. Last one, budget.
Oh, nope. Jeff Lane funds. Sorry.
The what?
Jeff Lane funds.
Okay, Jeff Lane Fund.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base real quick. This is a request from baseball. I'm just representing here.
Then maybe you should sit in the middle seat.
So baseball is doing a few things to finish up the fields. One thing that we bought, which we're asking to come out of the Jeff Lane revolving fund, which is comedy night money, is $1,802, and it's for the bleachers for the 60-foot field. That's it.
That's it. And there's money in that account for that?
Yeah, I don't remember the total. 3,000.
It's like 3,000 and change there.
change, I believe. Yeah.
So we need just to make a motion to approve that purchase.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to allow baseball to spend $1,802 from the Jeff Lane revolving fund in order to purchase.
Is that something, and that kind of improvement is something that could be, impact fees could be used for?
Actually, the impact fees kind of go towards.
So
it.
we had two different things. In order to build this, we had impact fees that were allocated to it. Plus, in conjunction with the rec, we did fundraising and we did a bunch of comedy shows that went into it. So we have two different funds that we pull from.
Okay.
So we try to use the impact fee for the construction of the field, and we're trying to use the revolving for other things that go there, such as bleachers and
Since
flag or-
technically, since bleachers could be picked up and moved to another field, they really can't come out of the impact fees from
Oh.
the way
if
I
there was
understand
permanent
it.
structure there, we could go do it.
Yeah. If they
Okay.
were.
Interesting.
Learn
Alright.
something new every day.
So make a motion to allow baseball, Litchfield baseball to spend $1,802 out of the Jeff Lane revolving fund to purchase bleachers.
Sorry, it's $1,802.49.
$1,802.49.
Correct.
Approximately.
Can I have a second?
Sean.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor, please raise your hand. 4, 0, 2 abstained because conflict of interest. So anything else you'd like to discuss,
There's a
Mr.
broken
Evans?
bleacher at Dara Pond. I don't know if somebody wants to look at that before Saturday, not the Jewett field.
I won't have time.
It's the bottom one. I just know because I was running up and down.
So the far
bleachers.
side
So
field?
it's the 10U field.
Yep, the bottom bleacher, one half of it is not screwed down. So it might have been just, I looked underneath when I was
Was
there.
it a
and
screw or
couldn't find a
are they
screw.
welded?
Is
I
it-
was looking for a screw.
Is it wood or is it
No,
aluminum?
they're aluminum.
You can step on it.
And when
You just
you're,
can't pick it
when
up.
the guy goes there to weld the
You
aluminum.
step on one side, the other one goes up a little bit. and
So
then
again,
it
so
goes-
here's the next question.
So I
Are
don't know
those
who.
are those our bleachers or are those softballs bleachers?
Yeah, I don't know who maintains
No
that.
idea. That's way back history, I bet.
I'm gonna go with, considering we just approved for Jeff Lane, I'm gonna say those are softball bleachers.
That's what I'm thinking it
Thank
is.
So softball should be responsible
Right.
for.
All right, so when your welder shows up to weld your soccer net, you can't think you can weld a bleacher.
I just don't want somebody to
Aluminum
go
welding
sit there and
equipment.
have something happen and
Because your nuts are
And-
aluminum, right? It's so
Yeah.
light, yeah.
I can have him take a look.
If you
I
could,
mean,
it'd be great.
because, I mean, he's just giving us a price before he does it.
Yeah. If you could,
Price them both.
I mean, he's already there, so.
The next item is basically we've already bought this stuff, but we would like to get reimbursed out of the impact fees, and this is for all construction related items. Basically, we bought 4 cubic yards of mulch, 1 cubic yard of stone dust, flagpole parts, i.e., the cap and the hardware to make the flag go up, edging and spikes for various locations to go around bleachers and stuff like that. Wood and concrete for the field sign at the field, and then we had to purchase 500 feet of 12-2 underground direct burial wire for the scoreboards, electrical parts for the scoreboards, and fence post caps for the top of the scoreboards. In total, it's $1,179.75.
Is it Jeff Lane?
This is Jeff Lane.
Jeff Lane.
But because-
Utilization of the impact fees, which this board has already allocated for the parking lot. which did not get consumed.
Correct.
All right, I'll make a motion to allow baseball to utilize $1,179.75 out of the impact fees to be reimbursed for the materials listed or mentioned above at Jeff Lane. A second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Wait, I'm not. Wait, no, I'm not.
4-0-2. Anything else, Andy?
No, that's it.
That's it. Those two.
The end is in sight.
We're almost there. 4 years in the making.
Steve is still sore from Saturday.
Oh, that was brutal. That was brutal.
What else do you have left?
Finish what we were doing Saturday. So I think when you really look at it, what's left from a construction standpoint is a couple things for the sign, get the flagpole on the ground. And then after that, it's lining the parking lot. Then Ryan will come in, finish the irrigation. He's going to kill all the common area grass.
Yep.
Come in, holly rake it all, loosen it up, plant all new seed, and put irrigation in.
Nice.
Then the only thing I think we have after that is get the batting cage up.
That's it.
And then we can call that project done.
And the granite bench. I still have that granite
And the
bench.
granite bench, we have to get
Yes.
there. And maybe a cap over the wellhead.
Steve and I dug up like 5 yards of grass and dirt to put mulch in this week. It was awful. It was like 100 degrees outside.
We got there at 7
100
trying to beat the heat. It didn't
100%
work.
humidity.
It was brutal.
It was
The mayflies were awful. It was just, it was a long, 6 hours
I
that
had to
day?
hang out with Steve for all day.
I don't know. I got Andy all day, so.
Jay Brennan and I spent 5 or 6 hours down at Dara doing pretty much the same thing, trying to clean up the
Clean it
edging,
up.
clean up the weeds, cut down the grass, trim the overhanging branches.
Small engine repair.
Small engine repair.
I'm putting my foot down on the personal mower being used because it's back to broken all the time. I'm like,
Yeah, it goes back to the conversation where we need to work on trying to get some impact fees to
Mm-hmm.
or something. All right, let's talk about the budget. Our budget is compared to last year, it's tough. Most of the line items, I believe, are just going to be pretty much carryovers plus an increase of whatever it is. So actually, we're not even going to base it off the run rate. We're going to do a run rate, but it's not going to be from last year's budget because last year's budget is an outlier. So it'll be, I think we typically do 3 years prior to,
Yep.
and whatever the run rate is, and then the multiplier of whatever the cost is: propane, water, electric. I don't know what that is just off the top of my head.
So if you go into the budget that I shared with everyone, you can actually hit a hyperlink and it'll give you the average of electricity and
Am I not seeing that?
what are you looking for, Steve?
That link you're just talking about.
Electricity is on line 9 and it's called number 410.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Here we go. Okay.
Like if you open up that hyperlink,
All right.
so you just got to go down the rec, which is in cell 16, it looks like.
16.
Wow, we actually consumed a lot, huh? Or is that projected? A 3-year average.
3-year average, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Oh,
That's
even
jumping
last
up
year we
recently
actually.
or about to. Electric.
Well, we don't have our new agreement yet of what our rate will be for the town.
Okay.
Still waiting for regional planning to come back with that.
Propane.
We got like a 9 or 10% increase notice. Not
Yeah.
too long ago.
Yeah, so we go off with another conglomerate of other towns and we try to buy as a whole to get a lower rate.
Yeah.
So we actually did consume more propane than
I'm looking
expected,
on the
right?
bottom. I'm thinking it's down here.
Somebody left the heat on in town.
Oh,
hall.
Parks
Well,
and
we
Rec
have to
right
run
here.
it to
It's
keep the pipes
fifth
from
the
freezing.
bottom.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that, but I'm trying to see where his propane.
So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here it is. This is it.
Chemical toilet rentals. So the only one I would.
that's probably up.
Yeah, because we have a new vendor.
Just gonna turn
So if you look at what they did, I think Troy already plugged in some values that he thought
It's on the
So you
back.
can look at proposed,
So-
you know, show you increase, decrease. So if you're in, like, I think it's going to be AE, AF, and AG. Go back to the original one.
So then
So go to your top. There you go.
it's still easier to see up there.
So you look at
on my
AF,
phone.
AE, and AG, and that goes line by line. It tells you if there's an increase or a decrease.
Okay, yeah. And Parks and Rec is near the end.
Shut it down.
Like right now, we have a lot of money left in custodial services.
Yep.
Because we haven't used any. I think we've used $43.29 so far this year.
Is it possible to have that gentleman get into town hall to clean up the bathrooms before we get in there?
I can reach out and ask.
Yeah, because when we're there today, they need to be cleaned and stocked of any more, toilet paper. I think there's 3 or 4 rolls, but it'd be nice to take care of that. The only, besides the ones that we really don't have control over, such as propane, electricity, and water. My real only other concern is field maintenance. I have said this before, and I still feel it. I think we are undercutting ourselves, not trying to use that pun, but I think $57,000 is a really great deal. And doing a little research and looking around and talking to people, landscapers are feeling the pain just like everybody else is. They're struggling to get quality help. They're struggling to get help. Never mind quality help, just to get help. They want top dollar. And then the other issue is the materials have skyrocketed. Sometimes 30%, some of it's 100% increase. So I think this one, $57,000, I think we need to bump that up to close to 70 or 75,000.
I think it's 30% low based off of everything I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean,
30% low. Yeah. Yes.
57 to 30% low.
Yeah.
So I'm with you that it's got to
yeah,
be up to
it should be,
72,
yeah,
75.
it should be up more.
somewhere
Yeah,
up there.
it's,
Agreed.
Um,
I just know, like, I've gone to get stuff for my lawn this year, and it's
I mean, we're comparing it to what the price has gone up. Even the bids when they came in, like we went with the lowest bid. The other 2 bids we had were higher,
much
and that was then, and it wasn't.
62 and 70 almost.
72, I think.
72, yeah, so they were up there.
Yeah. So what I mean, I think we are definitely that low. We really do need more in that budget line. I mean, and that doesn't even talk about, like, realistically, as I've run the email, the surrounding areas of those fields
Right.
need to be mowed. Need to be, some of it has
We need to
like
figure
wedges
that
cut
out
back.
pronto.
I mean,
that's-
sawmill is horrible.
So within the selectmen budget last night, we were discussing that one, and highway came up, and we really are pushing hard to get a couple more seasonal workers. Everything but winter, just to get through cutting of grass in those common areas, leaf cleanup. Because whenever we lose our college hire, I mean, that's the end of August. That person goes. You still got 3 months where you have to go out and get things done. So
Yeah.
we're looking for that within our
Yep.
budget, trying to get a couple more people in the highway department to help out with issues like that.
And I
It's
know
not just sawmill, like.
Oh, I know it's
everywhere.
it's everywhere. I know. I mean,
According
no,
down there, I was like,
Yep.
oh,
it's the outsides of everything are just
the untreated parts.
Right.
Yeah.
the other issue we see at Innis too is those fences need to be replaced going in.
yeah.
I don't know what that's going to cost, but those are
A lot.
they're going to be a hazard. The one on the right's already falling in, and the one on the left is, I think the landowner's doing what he can do just to keep it up there.
Maybe impact fees.
Can we do impact fees for that?
Well, I heard the other day that an impact fee can be used to upkeep something. Like the school could use them for the HVA system because the building was established there due to growth. And now it's an upkeep for it. So they're able to use an impact fee for that. So same thing with the fields. They were put in because of growth.
So you can
System went. Can we go use impact? So I can investigate that for us.
you can maintain things that were built within impact
Correct.
fees.
Is what it is. We've had this big
Impact
discussion
fee's
with the
the
guy
biggest
that
mystery
actually
in town
developed our whole
politics.
impact fee structure. And it's been pretty eye-opening what they really
So
used for it,
so
can't be used for.
so you could say, like, that wood fence around sawmill, could that be replaced because that needs upkeep?
I will go ask those questions
Yeah.
because we're trying to learn more and more about what we can and can't
Because,
use.
I mean,
for it.
that wood fence around sawmill was, half, like, we soccer half installed it, and then we had Fences Unlimited came in and did like a majority of that and built the wall because someone who was a resident of town at the time, he's moved away since, was my assistant coach for soccer, and he was part of Fed Saloon. He did all that. He had, you know,
And how long
donated
ago was that?
everything. All the material was there. He just donated all the time and labor and had them all put up. So, and we see those fences coming apart, and it's not just the fence. It's the supports that go in have been rotting from the top down. So
I went down there one day with some, new bolts trying to attach them, and there's nothing to
there's
attach
nothing
them
to
to.
attach them to, unfortunately. Yeah.
And they're popping.
So I'll investigate that because I know each impact fee was written differently on how it could be used. So I'll go and see what I can find out for us.
So is that dependent on like, so Jeff Lane had impact fees set aside for itself.
Correct.
Did Innis had its own set of impact
No.
fees?
No,
or-
so the impact fees were given to rec allocated impact fees for Jeff Lane.
Okay. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So they go under police, fire. I don't think fire gets it. Police gets it. Rec, school, and there's one other one where they get allocated.
And is there a time limit on those?
6 years.
6 years.
And if you don't consume it in 6 years, it goes back to the developer.
So
We got to find out
We-
if there's anything we're not using.
yeah, can we
Yeah,
get,
it's a running total. Like, so it's, it's,
So you mean you may get $3,000 in, you may lose 1,000 if you didn't utilize it in 6 years.
okay, can we get a list of where we're at with ours so we
Dates?
can
I can
Yeah,
ask
due
Karen
dates
for
and
that.
total. The
Yes,
tough
Karen.
part is
I just want to know if we're going to be losing
We're gonna be
$20,000.
losing-
and that's what we're trying not to do. We try not to do it. You mean, honestly, like even Sawmill's still like the part of Sawmill that was done was either phase 1 or phase 1 and 2 of the bigger project. Because, on that original proposal, it was 3 phases. Part of it was there was also a portion of that project which was expanding the tennis courts, and then there was another one of putting in a dog park and a playground. So
how do we
that
get that
project
ball?
is kind of still out there,
right. And that
ongoing.
was part of the
I think that was
capital
talked about, and what it was I think there was enough based on growth or something for one more tennis court to go in, but tennis courts usually go in pairs
You need
or
a
something.
pair.
Yeah, something like that. So,
So-
only half the impact fees could be used because only the way the growth goes, it's only allocated for one court. So the town would have to pay for it's crazy on how these are done.
So who evaluates this? Like,
So there was
Is this our
there was a
legal team?
consultant who wrote up the whole entire structure of impact fees. So then it goes down to the Board of Selectmen to allocate the impact fees based off the structure. If we allocate a fee and a builder decides they want to fight it because they don't think it was used for the right thing, they could bring us to court and say that you didn't use it for the right thing. If they are found in their favor, the Board of Selectmen have to pay back the impact fee to the developer.
personally?
Has this ever been challenged? Do you know?
Not that I know of, but
But I will say, like, I think as a town, we are pretty conservative in terms of
we are.
how we use the impact fees. We really don't overstep.
We don't, because you got to look at
Yeah.
it. An individual paid a tax for a certain thing.
Mhm.
Is it really up to us to take that tax away from them and use it for something it truly wasn't allocated for?
Right.
So we try to make sure that the person was taxed. We use it for the right thing they were taxed for.
But it was the builder paid for it, but he just moved the cost onto the homeowner,
Of course,
and then the homeowner doesn't get anything back.
No, the builder gets it back. even
Builder
though
gets
the
it back,
homeowner-
which
yeah.
there's another whole legal part of that that's really supposed to go back to the homeowner, and it's all kinds of stuff.
So, Mike, do you have anywhere like
The original plans.
plans or?
Probably in the
don't
plan
know.
room.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Because,
But
I mean, why don't at our next meeting start looking at that? Because I have a feeling some of us are at least 6 years old because we're getting up to the 6 year point.
well, I'm sure we used a bunch for Jeff Lane through that.
Yeah.
Through that process. You try to, because you use them. You use.
I think all the phases that sawmill were done that were allocated at the time.
Right. Correct.
So all those were done, and they just didn't proceed on with the other phases of it because other stuff came up to get done at that time.
But we can't use impact fees to put in like a rubber floor at Talent or to maintain.
I don't believe so.
We could use impact fees to get possibly design drawings to build a new building
Correct.
off Talent.
Yes. you could allocate it for that.
What drives me a little crazy here is you can use impact fees to build something new, but you can't use impact fees to maintain that thing once you build it.
However, the way the
He's
schools,
just saying
however, the
that
way
we
schools
could.
was written,
Yeah.
the school was able to use it. So it goes back to how
Yeah.
that chapter of the impact fee was written. So that's the part I have to go back and ask questions on.
Maybe we can.
Yeah,
It was-
specific. So, okay, so some things we definitely need to look at the
Blow up town and build a new one, yeah. I'm all for that.
look at the
Yeah.
fencing at Sawmill. We need to look at the fencing at Innis are just definitely ours because we have the
The fence is ours.
yeah, and that's pretty horrible.
The sawmill.
Then there's the section over Dara that's kind of
Impact
beat up too.
fees?
Yeah, the
The
tree
sawmill
fell on it.
The
was-
sawmill's just the sawmill was all impact fees.
So that repair might be able to be done.
That was the questions I'm gonna
Right.
ask.
Yeah.
And then I'll also get with Karen and find out what we do have for impact fees and what the expiration dates are.
Perfect.
That'd be great.
If you guys can, take a look at this budget that Steve sent out. I'm gonna work on it and try to increase some of the things where I think it needs to be. Some of the stuff like program expenses. We are gonna try to have a fishing derby next year, so some of that will be consumed. Mileage, we don't have a lot of that. PR equipment. Playground and playground equipment. We do have some fixes we have to do at the playground, which we're going to be doing. But $3,500, maybe we should consider that swing set that doesn't have any swings, or getting an ADA compliant swing set or something.
Yeah.
The big one is definitely field maintenance. That is very low. Repair and maintenance, well pumps. We need to speak with Karen to find out where we stand on that. I know this year it was a tough year.
Oh, which one's that, Steve?
Equipment repair in maintenance. So I know we worked on the well pump at Dara.
Thus far, we've only consumed $240.
Really?
That's what it says here. Under equipment maintenance and repair, there's $760 left as of, this came out on Friday, the budget report.
Question is, was it charged somewhere else?
It could have been charged somewhere else, and it may not even have been charged yet.
Right.
Because if you look at, I think it's field maintenance. I mean, we still have $24,000 open on that,
Right. But
which will be billed by the end of the year.
Right.
So it all comes in when the billing cycle actually comes in. Because right now we still have half our budget left.
Most of which is field maintenance.
Yeah, good portion of it is. I mean, we have $44,813 left, and of that, $24,311 is field maintenance.
it's $20,000.
Yeah.
So the question is, we're going to look at the budget, but selectmen are talking about the budget on Monday, right?
Yes.
Is
We're
that
gonna be
just
looking
an-
at
is
several
that just an
times.
initial?
That's the initial
okay.
part, you come up
Yeah.
and so forth. And then before cuts are made and we have to go through and stand under the tax cap before we give it to the budget committee, we'll go back to each one of the department heads, boards and commissions, say, hey, what do you think if we do this? So it's a back and forth we have. The part that I do find interesting is we haven't consumed anything under building repair and maintenance yet this year. We had $4,500 allocated to us and we haven't had a fix or repair anything.
We haven't really been in there.
We haven't really
though.
used it,
It's been
yeah.
We
closed.
need, Jeff and I noticed like some of the flashing, we need some attention down there for sure. The flashing on the edges are blown off, some of the aluminum. We're standing there inside and we could hear a toilet running, going off, so there's some, when do we have to
Some of
use
those
this by?
lights are-
January, right? End of December?
Yeah.
Some
So, I
lights.
mean, I would look at things such as that if you want to go in and fix the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Fix the flashing.
Yeah.
Anything that we have.
Is
that
it
needs
still
to be
clean in there?
maintained. I mean, do we want to go fix
Is it
the
still
fence
clean
over
from
Dara
when
that a
we
tree
got-
fell on?
So,
Is it still
I know fencing's hard to get right now.
Yeah.
Have we cleaned it up that
Covered
time?
fencing right now.
Is it still clean?
yeah, but it's still, this is what I said.
It's
Jeff,
not
too. We
clean,
we
yeah.
need to go in there and there's still the
Invoice it
paint
now
cans from 2008.
Repair when it gets repaired, yeah.
So it needs to
Can
get
we
cleaned
use some
up
of those funds
more.
to fix the?
Need to get rid of the refrigerator
down
because
at,
that is
Sawmill.
absolutely disgusting.
Structural.
Yeah, right.
Stove. So there's a lot
That's
of
what we
things in there
use the
that
impact fees on.
we're talking. I think what we should do
But,
one
you
day is
know, I mean,
just go in there,
no, I
start
know,
cleaning up,
it's-
and then stacking everybody's pickleball stuff in the
impact fees
corner,
are- it's such a game.
Christmas in Litchfield,
Yeah,
softball,
organize it.
and then have people come in and say, "What do you want? What do you don't want?" Because there's right now it's a dumping ground of junk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We did a science experiment, somebody did, on what happens to an egg if you put it in a refrigerator, close the door, shut the power off, and come back 2 years later.
Jeff's like, "Let's leave it open." I'm like, "No, let's
Was there
close it."
chicken in there? Was there chicken in there by any chance? No.
Yeah, we also have an equipment purchase line here that we didn't purchase any equipment on for $320. I think we had earmarked it for tennis nets, it says there.
You're gonna get some.
Tennis nets. Yeah, whatever happened to? I thought Andy was purchasing tennis nets. Did that happen?
Don't know.
I was hoping Andy would be here because it's always great.
You and Chris put them up. What kind of shape were they in? Do you remember?
They're all right.
All right.
They're not. Yeah, I mean,
They weren't tattered or ripped.
No. they're usable.
It's 35.
Yeah, so if you guys could take a look at it over the weekend, give
Yeah,
me your
Buy
input,
one
get back.
and then
do one next year.
rotate it in and buy another one and rotate it in. And
Yeah, I wouldn't say they were pristine
right, no, but I'm saying even just to have one,
in case one
correct.
goes.
In case one gets torn.
And again, you don't want to be with the budgets we have. You don't want to be buying two at the same time.
And you also have to remember last year, due to COVID and the lack of projected revenue, we did cut a lot of the budgets.
Yeah, that's why last year's budget for us will be an outlier because it wasn't, not a lot was used. That talent wasn't used. It was just a shell
Not just last year, this year.
this year.
This year too.
I mean,
So far, yeah.
All right.
Because we got a lot of use out of town in January, February, and to March last year. And then it kind of stopped right after that.
Is there anything else? I think that is it. All right, so once again on the budget, take a look at it, send your feedback to me so that I can have it come Monday. If you decide we need to increase or decrease, just kind of put a little justification as to why, so I can speak to it. Like I said, I think the big one is going to be, we all agree that field maintenance needs to be increased.
You probably want to do it by Sunday night so you can talk to Troy on Monday. So, yeah, you guys are both in lockstep for Monday evening.
What time's that at?
6:30 we start.
And then we're probably last.
I can tell you what number you'll be in line. Let's see. Let's go down to budgets. Here's budget schedule. Here we go. When we get to budgets that night, you guys will be number 5th.
Okay. 15
Fifth out,
minutes,
fifth out,
half an
fifth
hour,
out of 10. You're right in the middle of the
half an
pack.
hour each.
So 10 o'clock.
Sure.
Planning boards, zoning boards, cemeteries, conservation, pretty quick. I'd say by 7 o'clock you'll be on.
All right, I'll be here at 7:30.
I'll pick you up. What 6:30 that starts on Monday?
Yeah, selectmen meetings start at 6:30.
All right. Anything else anybody needs to discuss before we adjourn? No. All right. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
second. No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.